What if ancient civilizations traveled the globe thousands of years before modern explorers set sail? For centuries, the idea that our ancestors could have navigated vast oceans with rudimentary technology has been dismissed as pure fantasy. But what if this wasn't just a myth? What if the evidence we've been overlooking tells a different story? One of courageous seafarers who ventured into the unknown, charting paths across the world long before we thought possible. Today, we're diving into the mystery of ancient mariners and their incredible journeys. From the Polynesians who mastered the Pacific to the enigmatic seafarers of the Mediterranean, we'll explore the clues they left behind: artifacts, maps, and even legends that hint at a forgotten chapter of human history. This isn't just about uncovering the past, it's about redefining what we thought we knew about human ingenuity and exploration. So, let's embark on this voyage together and uncover the secrets of the ancient seafarers who might have changed the course of history. Our first stop, the oldest known examples of seafaring, where the story begins to take shape. Long before the age of grand ships and compasses, the story of human exploration began with something much simpler: a single log carved into a canoe. One of the earliest examples of this ingenuity is the Pesse canoe, found in the Netherlands and dating back over 10,000 years. This ancient vessel, crafted from a hollowed-out tree trunk, is considered the oldest known boat in the world. But it's not just a relic, it's a testament to humanity's unyielding desire to cross water, to explore, and to connect. Around the same time, our ancestors were also using rafts made from reeds or logs to navigate rivers and coastal waters. These primitive vessels, though basic by today's standards, were revolutionary. They allowed early humans to travel further than ever before, crossing barriers that once seemed insurmountable. This early maritime exploration wasn't just about moving from one place to another. It was about survival, trade, and the exchange of ideas. Imagine a group of early humans paddling down a river, carrying with them tools, food, and knowledge. Each journey became a bridge between cultures, spreading innovations and traditions across vast distances. For example, the migration of early humans into Australia over 50,000 years ago likely involved crossing open water, a feat that required both courage and skill. These early seafarers didn't just conquer the seas, they laid the groundwork for the complex networks of trade and communication that would define later civilizations. The use of boats and rafts also reveals something profound about human nature: our inherent curiosity and adaptability. These early vessels weren't built for luxury or speed, they were built to endure, to carry their passengers to new horizons. And as we'll see, this spirit of exploration only grew stronger with time. From these humble beginnings, humanity's relationship with the sea would evolve, leading to the rise of more advanced seafaring cultures that would push the boundaries of what was possible. But that's a story for later. For now, let's marvel at the ingenuity of those first adventurers who looked at a log and saw not just wood, but a way to journey into the unknown. As humanity's relationship with the sea deepened, one civilization emerged as the undisputed masters of the Mediterranean, the Phoenicians. Known for their skill in shipbuilding and navigation, they transformed the ancient world into a thriving network of trade and cultural exchange. Unlike other civilizations of their time, the Phoenicians didn't rely on vast empires or armies. Their power came from the sea. With ships designed for speed and durability, they ventured far beyond their homeland in modern-day Lebanon, establishing trade routes that stretched from Spain to North Africa and even as far as the British Isles. Their vessels, often laden with precious goods like purple dye, glass, and cedar wood, became floating ambassadors of commerce and culture. But the Phoenicians were more than just traders, they were innovators. They perfected the art of navigation by studying the stars, creating some of the earliest known maritime charts. Their ships, often equipped with a unique keel design, could handle the unpredictable waters of the Mediterranean with ease. This expertise allowed them to establish colonies and trading posts across the region, including the famous city of Carthage. These outposts weren't just economic hubs, they were centers of cultural exchange, spreading Phoenician ideas, language, and technology to distant lands. The Phoenician alphabet, for instance, became the foundation for many modern writing systems, including Greek and Latin. Archaeological discoveries have brought their seafaring legacy to life. Shipwrecks like the one found off the coast of Malta reveal intricate details about their vessels' tools, cargo, and even remnants of the sails. These artifacts tell us not just how the Phoenicians sailed, but also how they lived, traded, and connected with other civilizations. Each discovery adds a new layer to our understanding of their remarkable achievements. Yet, the Phoenicians weren't alone in their maritime ambitions. Other cultures, like the Minoans and the Greeks, also left their mark on the ancient seafaring world. Each brought their own innovations and ambitions, creating a tapestry of exploration and discovery that shaped the course of history. As we move forward, we'll explore how these rival powers interacted, competed, and sometimes collaborated, revealing a complex and interconnected world long before the age of modern globalization. While the Phoenicians were dominating the Mediterranean, another group of seafarers was mastering the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, the Polynesians. Unlike the Phoenicians, who relied on established trade routes, the Polynesians were explorers in the truest sense, venturing into uncharted waters with nothing but their knowledge of the natural world to guide them. Their journeys were nothing short of extraordinary, spanning thousands of miles across the Pacific to settle on remote islands like Hawaii, New Zealand, and Easter Island. What makes their achievements even more remarkable is how they did it without compasses, maps, or written records. Instead, they relied on an intricate understanding of the stars, the waves, and even the behavior of birds. Celestial navigation was at the heart of their success. Polynesian navigators memorized the positions of hundreds of stars, using them as a celestial map to determine their direction. They also paid close attention to the movement of ocean currents and the patterns of waves, which could reveal the presence of nearby land. Even the flight paths of birds became clues, signaling the proximity of islands over the horizon. This deep connection to the environment wasn't just practical, it was spiritual. Navigators were often seen as custodians of sacred knowledge, passing down their skills through oral traditions that preserved their wisdom for generations. Their vessels, known as double-hulled canoes or wakolua, were marvels of engineering. These sturdy, efficient boats could carry people, livestock, and supplies across vast distances, making them the lifeblood of Polynesian exploration. The design of these canoes, with their two parallel hulls connected by a platform, provided stability in rough seas and allowed for long voyages. It's no exaggeration to say that these canoes were the key to unlocking the Pacific. The Polynesians' voyages weren't just about discovery, they were about connection. Each island they settled became part of a larger network, linked by trade, culture, and shared ancestry. This web of relationships stretched across the Pacific, creating a sense of unity among people separated by vast distances. Yet the question remains, could their methods have taken them even further? Some researchers speculate that Polynesian navigators might have reached as far as the Americas, long before European explorers arrived. While this theory is still debated, it underscores the incredible potential of their skills and the mysteries that still surround their journeys. As we continue our exploration, we'll uncover how these ancient navigators influenced the world in ways we're only beginning to understand. While the Polynesians were navigating the vast Pacific, another group of seafarers was making waves in the North Atlantic, the Vikings. Renowned for their daring spirit and formidable longships, these Norse explorers ventured into some of the harshest waters on Earth, pushing the boundaries of what was possible in the ancient world. Their iconic longships, with their sleek design and shallow draft, were perfectly suited for both open seas and shallow rivers, allowing the Vikings to raid, trade, and explore with unmatched versatility. These vessels, often adorned with intricate carvings, weren't just tools of conquest. They were symbols of a culture that thrived on exploration and discovery. The Vikings' journeys took them far beyond their Scandinavian homelands. They settled in Iceland and Greenland, establishing thriving communities in some of the most remote corners of the world. But perhaps their most astonishing achievement was their arrival in North America, centuries before Columbus. The settlement at Eland's Ox Meadows in modern-day Newfoundland stands as tangible proof of their transatlantic voyages. Discovered in the 1960s, this site revealed the remains of Viking dwellings, tools, and even a forge. It's a testament to their resilience and adaptability, showing that they didn't just reach the New World, they lived there, albeit briefly. What drove the Vikings to undertake such perilous journeys? Part of the answer lies in their environment. Scandinavia's rugged terrain and limited resources pushed them to look beyond their shores for opportunities. But it was also their culture, a society that celebrated bravery, curiosity, and the pursuit of glory. To sail into the unknown was not just a necessity, it was a calling. Their sagas, filled with tales of adventure and discovery, reflect this deep-seated desire to explore and conquer the unknown. Yet, the Vikings weren't alone in their exploration of the Americas. While their presence at Eland's Ox Meadows is well documented, there's growing evidence to suggest that they might not have been the first ancient seafarers to reach these shores. From Polynesian artifacts to mysterious stone structures, the clues hint at a world far more interconnected than we've ever imagined. As we continue our journey, we'll explore these tantalizing possibilities and uncover the stories of other ancient explorers who might have left their mark on the New World. While the Vikings were charting the icy waters of the North Atlantic, another vast network of exploration and trade was flourishing in the Indian Ocean, a true Silk Road of the sea. Unlike the Vikings' individual voyages, this was a sprawling maritime network that connected empires, cultures, and continents. Stretching from the eastern coast of Africa to the shores of India and China, these trade routes were the lifeblood of the ancient world, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies on a scale that had never been seen before. Imagine a bustling port in Alexandria where Persian silks, Indian spices, and African ivory were loaded onto ships bound for distant lands. Or picture the bustling markets of Guangzhou where Chinese porcelain and tea were traded for gems and gold. These ports weren't just hubs of commerce, they were melting pots of culture and innovation. The Indian Ocean trade routes were driven by the monsoon winds, which blew predictably in one direction for half the year and reversed in the other. Ancient mariners learned to harness these winds, timing their voyages to maximize speed and efficiency. This natural rhythm of the sea created a reliable network that allowed traders to traverse vast distances with relative ease. Goods weren't the only things being exchanged. Ideas and technologies flowed along these routes as well. For instance, the Indian numeral system, which included the concept of zero, traveled to the Middle East and eventually Europe, revolutionizing mathematics. Similarly, shipbuilding techniques from the Arab world influenced designs in Southeast Asia, creating a shared maritime heritage. Key ports like Alexandria in Egypt and Guangzhou in China became cosmopolitan centers, teeming with merchants, sailors, and scholars from around the world. Alexandria's famous lighthouse, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, wasn't just a beacon for ships. It was a symbol of the city's role as a gateway between East and West. In Guangzhou, foreign traders were welcomed into bustling marketplaces where goods from every corner of the known world could be found. These ports were more than just economic hubs. They were places where cultures collided and fused, laying the groundwork for the interconnected world we live in today. But what if these trade routes were even more extensive than we've realized? While the Indian Ocean network is well documented, there are tantalizing hints of even older and broader maritime connections. From Roman coins found in Vietnam to African artifacts in ancient China, the evidence suggests a world far more interconnected than we've ever imagined. Could there have been ancient trade networks that span the globe, linking civilizations long before the age of European exploration? As we delve deeper into this mystery, we'll uncover the clues that hint at a much more complex and far-reaching story. The Mediterranean, once a bustling hub of ancient civilizations, faced an unprecedented crisis around 1200 BCE, a wave of destruction so profound it marked the end of the Bronze Age. At the heart of this chaos were the enigmatic Sea Peoples, a mysterious group whose identity and origins remain one of history's greatest unsolved puzzles. Ancient records from Egypt and the Hittites describe them as fierce warriors who raided coastal cities, leaving devastation in their wake. But who were they? Theories abound, ranging from displaced tribes fleeing environmental disasters to a coalition of seafaring raiders united by a common goal. Some scholars suggest they came from the Aegean or Anatolia, while others propose they were a mix of groups from across the Mediterranean. The truth is, we simply don't know. What we do know is their impact was catastrophic, contributing to the collapse of powerful civilizations like the Hittites and the Mycenaeans. One of the most compelling mysteries surrounding the Sea Peoples is their sudden appearance and disappearance. They emerge in historical records during a time of great upheaval, often linked to climate change, famine, and political instability. Could they have been refugees driven from their homelands by these crises, or were they opportunistic raiders exploiting the vulnerabilities of a collapsing world? The Egyptian pharaoh Ramses III left a detailed account of his victory over the Sea Peoples, depicting them as a formidable enemy. Yet, despite their defeat, their legacy lingers, raising questions about the interconnectedness of ancient societies. Were they merely destroyers, or did their actions inadvertently pave the way for new civilizations to rise? The Sea Peoples remind us that history is often written by the victors, leaving the stories of the vanquished shrouded in mystery. Their tale is a stark reminder of the fragility of even the mightiest empires and the unpredictable forces that can reshape the course of human history. But they also hint at something deeper, a world of ancient seafaring peoples whose stories have been lost to time. If the Sea Peoples could leave such a profound mark on history, what other groups might have sailed the seas, leaving no trace of their journeys? As we continue our exploration, we'll uncover the hidden legacies of other ancient mariners, piecing together a puzzle that challenges everything we thought we knew about our past. The ingenuity of ancient shipbuilding is a testament to human creativity and adaptability. From the mighty triremes of the Mediterranean to the elegant junks of China, each civilization developed unique techniques to craft vessels capable of conquering the seas. The materials they used were as diverse as their designs. In Egypt, boats were often made from papyrus reeds, lightweight yet durable, perfect for navigating the Nile. Meanwhile, the Phoenicians favored cedar wood, prized for its strength and resistance to rot, allowing their ships to endure long voyages across the Mediterranean. In the East, Chinese shipbuilders crafted junks from teak and bamboo, materials chosen for their flexibility and resilience in the unpredictable waters of the South China Sea. But it wasn't just the materials that made these ships remarkable, it was the innovative designs. The Greeks perfected the trireme, a sleek warship powered by 3 rows of oars, enabling unmatched speed and maneuverability in battle. The Vikings, on the other hand, built their iconic longships with shallow drafts, allowing them to navigate both open seas and shallow rivers. Chinese junks featured stern-mounted rudders, a revolutionary design that provided greater control and stability. And let's not forget the sails, whether it's the square sails of Roman merchant ships or the triangular lateen sails of Arab dhows. These innovations allowed ancient mariners to harness the wind, transforming it into a powerful ally. The secrets of ancient shipbuilding aren't just preserved in texts, they're hidden beneath the waves. Shipwrecks like the Uluburun, discovered off the coast of Turkey, offer a glimpse into the past. This Bronze Age vessel, laden with copper, tin, and luxury goods, reveals the sophistication of ancient trade networks and the craftsmanship of its builders. Similarly, the wreck of a Chinese junk in the Java Sea provides clues about the techniques used to construct these sturdy ships, including the intricate joinery that held them together without nails. So, how did these ships withstand the challenges of long ocean voyages? The answer lies in the harmony of materials, design, and skill. Each ship was a masterpiece of engineering, built to endure the relentless forces of wind and wave. Yet, even as we marvel at their achievements, questions remain. How did ancient shipbuilders refine their techniques without modern tools? What lessons can we learn from their innovations? As we continue to explore the mysteries of ancient seafaring, these questions remind us of the enduring legacy of those who first dared to sail beyond the horizon. Ancient sailors didn't have GPS or radar to guide them across the seas, yet they managed to traverse vast oceans with remarkable precision. How did they do it? The answer lies in a combination of ingenious tools, keen observation, and a deep understanding of the natural world. One of the most iconic devices was the astrolabe, an early instrument used to measure the altitude of stars and determine latitude. By aligning the astrolabe with the North Star, sailors could estimate their position relative to the equator, a critical skill for long voyages. Later, the sextant refined this process, offering greater accuracy and becoming a staple of maritime navigation. But not all navigation tools were mechanical. Ancient mariners often relied on the most reliable guide of all, the stars. Polynesian navigators, for instance, memorized the positions of constellations, using them as a celestial map to chart their course across the Pacific. In the Mediterranean, sailors turned to the wind and currents, learning to read these natural forces like a language. The monsoon winds of the Indian Ocean, for example, were so predictable that entire trade networks were built around their annual patterns. These natural guides weren't just tools, they were lifelines connecting sailors to the rhythms of the earth. Navigational charts, though less precise than modern maps, were another crucial aid. The Portolan charts of the Mediterranean, for instance, were hand-drawn masterpieces that detailed coastlines, ports, and key landmarks with surprising accuracy. Similarly, the Chinese created intricate maps that combined geographical knowledge with cultural significance, often marking important trade routes and celestial phenomena. These charts weren't just practical, they were works of art blending science and imagination. Yet, even with these tools, ancient sailors faced immense challenges. Storms, dwindling supplies, and the ever-present threat of shipwreck tested their resilience every step of the way. Navigating by the stars was no easy feat on cloudy nights, and relying on the wind meant accepting its unpredictability. These obstacles remind us of the courage and resourcefulness of those early explorers, who ventured into the unknown with little more than their wits and determination. As we move forward, we'll explore how these challenges shaped the evolution of navigation, paving the way for the sophisticated systems we rely on today. The open seas were as treacherous as they were vast, and ancient mariners faced countless dangers that tested their resolve at every turn. Storms, perhaps the most feared of all, could strike without warning, churning the ocean into a chaos of towering waves and howling winds. Ships, though marvels of their time, were often no match for nature's fury. The story of the Batavia, a Dutch East India Company ship that wrecked off the coast of Australia in 1629, is a chilling reminder of these perils. After the ship ran aground on a coral reef, the survivors faced not only the harsh environment of a remote island, but also a brutal mutiny that claimed the lives of many. It's a tale of both tragedy and resilience, showcasing the extremes of human behavior in the face of adversity. But storms weren't the only threat. Disease could spread like wildfire in the cramped quarters of a ship, decimating crews before they reached their destination. Scurvy, caused by a lack of vitamin C, was a particularly ruthless killer, weakening sailors to the point of death. Fresh water, too, was a constant concern. Without it, even the most skilled navigators were helpless. And then there were pirates who lurked in the shadows of trade routes, ready to plunder unsuspecting vessels. These maritime bandits weren't just after cargo. They often targeted ships for their passengers, who could be ransomed or sold into slavery. Despite these dangers, ancient sailors developed strategies to mitigate the risks. They carefully planned their voyages around seasonal weather patterns, avoiding the most hazardous times of the year. Ships were stocked with extra supplies, and crews were trained to handle emergencies, from repairing damage to fending off attackers. Navigation tools, though rudimentary, were used with precision, and the stars became a trusted guide. These preparations weren't just about survival. They were about thriving in a world where the sea was both a lifeline and a constant threat. What's remarkable is how these challenges didn't deter ancient explorers. They fueled their determination. The risks they faced pushed them to innovate, to adapt, and to persevere in the face of overwhelming odds. Their stories remind us that courage and ingenuity weren't just traits of ancient seafarers. They were necessities, the very foundation of their success. As we reflect on their journeys, we're left with a profound respect for those who dared to sail into the unknown, knowing full well the dangers that awaited them. Their legacy is a testament to the indomitable spirit of human exploration. The sea has always been a source of mystery and wonder, and it's no surprise that ancient cultures wove tales of adventure, danger, and discovery into their myths and legends. One of the most enduring of these stories is Homer's Odyssey, an epic poem that follows the 10-year journey of the Greek hero Odysseus as he struggles to return home after the Trojan War. From navigating the deadly whirlpool of Charybdis to escaping the enchantress Circe, the Odyssey is a vivid portrayal of the perils faced by ancient sailors. But it's more than just a thrilling adventure. It's a reflection of the fears and aspirations of those who ventured into the unknown. The monsters and gods Odysseus encounters symbolize the unpredictable forces of nature and the divine, reminding us of how small and vulnerable humans felt against the vastness of the sea. Another legendary tale that has captivated imaginations for centuries is the story of Atlantis, the advanced civilization said to have disappeared beneath the waves in a single day. First mentioned by the Greek philosopher Plato, Atlantis was described as a utopia of unparalleled wealth and technology. While most scholars agree that Atlantis is likely a myth, some argue that it could be based on a real event or place. Perhaps it was inspired by the volcanic eruption that destroyed the Minoan civilization on the island of Thera, or maybe it reflects the memory of a lost seafaring culture. Whatever its origins, the story of Atlantis speaks to humanity's fascination with the idea of lost worlds and the power of the sea to both create and destroy. These myths and legends aren't just flights of fancy, they're deeply rooted in the realities of ancient seafaring. The Odyssey captures the dangers of storms, shipwrecks, and hostile encounters with other cultures, while Atlantis reflects the awe and fear inspired by the ocean's immense power. They also reveal how ancient sailors grappled with the unknown, using storytelling to make sense of their experiences and to pass down wisdom to future generations. In a world without maps or compasses, these tales served as both entertainment and education, teaching valuable lessons about courage, resourcefulness, and the importance of respecting the sea. Could these myths hold a kernel of truth? Are they exaggerated accounts of real events passed down through generations and embellished over time? As we delve deeper into the mysteries of ancient seafaring, we'll explore the possibility that some of these legendary stories might be more than just fiction. They could be echoes of a forgotten past waiting to be uncovered. While much of ancient seafaring history is shrouded in mystery, some theories push the boundaries of what we thought possible, suggesting that ancient explorers ventured far beyond their known worlds. One of the most intriguing ideas is the possibility of contact between ancient Egypt and the Americas. Could the pyramids of Egypt and those of Mesoamerica be more than a coincidence? Some researchers point to similarities in architecture, religious symbols, and even mummification practices as evidence of a connection. While mainstream scholars remain skeptical, the idea raises fascinating questions about the extent of ancient maritime exploration. Could the Egyptians, known for their Nile-based boats, have sailed across the Atlantic? Or did another civilization act as a bridge between these distant cultures? Another theory that has sparked debate is the idea of early Chinese voyages to Australia. Chinese records speak of distant lands and strange peoples, and some believe these accounts refer to Australia long before European explorers arrived. Artifacts like ancient Chinese coins found on Australian shores and similarities between indigenous Australian and Chinese art have fueled speculation. Could the legendary Chinese Admiral Zheng He, who led massive treasure fleets in the 15th century, have reached Australia during his expeditions? While there's no definitive proof, the notion challenges our understanding of ancient maritime capabilities and the interconnectedness of distant cultures. Then there are the controversial artifacts that defy easy explanation. The Kensington runestone, discovered in Minnesota, is inscribed with runes that some claim mark the presence of Vikings in North America centuries before Columbus. Similarly, the Bat Creek stone, found in Tennessee, bears an inscription that some interpret as Hebrew, suggesting possible pre-Columbian contact with the Old World. These artifacts are hotly debated, with critics arguing they're hoaxes or misinterpretations, while proponents see them as proof of ancient transoceanic journeys. So, how much of this is fact and how much is fiction? The truth likely lies somewhere in between. While some theories may stretch the limits of credulity, they remind us that history is far more complex and interconnected than we often assume. Every controversial artifact or unorthodox theory challenges us to rethink what we know about the past and to keep an open mind about the possibilities. As we continue our exploration, we'll weigh the evidence and consider what these theories might reveal about the boundless curiosity and daring of ancient seafarers. Climate played a pivotal role in shaping the course of ancient seafaring, acting as both a barrier and a gateway for exploration. During the last ice age, which ended around 12,000 years ago, vast portions of the Earth's water were locked in glaciers, causing sea levels to drop by as much as 400 feet. This exposed land bridges and created new coastlines, fundamentally altering the geography of the ancient world. For early humans, these changes opened up new possibilities. For instance, the lowered sea levels likely allowed the first migrants to reach Australia by navigating through islands that are now submerged. As the ice retreated and sea levels rose again, the landscape shifted once more, forcing ancient mariners to adapt their routes and strategies. But it wasn't just the physical environment that changed. Climate also influenced trade and cultural exchange. The Mediterranean, for example, experienced periods of drought and plenty that directly impacted the economies of ancient civilizations. During times of scarcity, seafaring became a lifeline, as ships carried grain and resources from fertile regions to those in need. Conversely, favorable climate conditions could spark a golden age of exploration, as stable weather and abundant resources allowed sailors to venture further than ever before. The Polynesians, for instance, may have benefited from periods of calm seas and predictable winds, enabling their legendary voyages across the vast Pacific. Shifting trade routes also reveal the dynamic relationship between climate and seafaring. The monsoon winds of the Indian Ocean, which were as vital to ancient trade as modern shipping lanes, were shaped by seasonal weather patterns. Merchants timed their journeys to coincide with these winds, creating a rhythm of commerce that connected distant cultures. Similarly, the Vikings' expansion into the North Atlantic may have been driven by a warming period known as the medieval warm period, which made the icy waters of the North more navigable. These examples show how ancient seafarers weren't just passive observers of their environment, they were active participants, using their knowledge of climate to navigate and thrive. What's truly remarkable is how these ancient mariners adapted to their ever-changing world. They didn't just endure the challenges of their environment, they turned them into opportunities. Whether it was harnessing the monsoon winds or braving the icy waters of the North, their ingenuity and resilience remind us of the profound connection between humanity and the natural world. As we move forward, let's explore how this adaptability shaped their cultures and inspired innovations that continue to influence us today. Maritime trade wasn't just about goods moving across the water. It was the lifeblood of ancient civilizations, shaping their economies, politics, and daily lives in profound ways. In seafaring societies, the sea was more than a boundary, it was a highway of opportunity. Take the Phoenicians, for example. Their mastery of shipbuilding and trade transformed coastal cities like Tyre and Sidon into bustling hubs of commerce, where merchants from distant lands exchanged goods, ideas, and stories. These cities became melting pots of culture, where Egyptian art, Mesopotamian jewelry, and Greek pottery mingled, creating a rich tapestry of influences that defined the ancient world. The role of sailors and merchants in these societies was pivotal. Sailors weren't just adventurers, they were the backbone of trade networks, risking their lives to bring back exotic goods like spices, silk, and precious metals. Merchants, meanwhile, were the middlemen, wheeling and dealing in bustling marketplaces where fortunes could be made or lost in a single transaction. Shipbuilders, often overlooked, were the unsung heroes, crafting vessels that could withstand the unpredictable seas. Their skills were passed down through generations, creating a legacy of innovation and craftsmanship that fueled the ambitions of their societies. But the impact of maritime trade went beyond economics. It shaped politics and power dynamics as rulers sought to control key ports and trade routes to bolster their influence. The wealth generated by trade funded grand projects, from the construction of temples and palaces to the sponsorship of art and literature. In daily life, the sea influenced everything from diet to fashion, as imported goods became symbols of status and sophistication. Imagine a Roman noblewoman wearing silk from China or a Greek philosopher sipping wine from a Phoenician goblet. These were the tangible results of a world connected by the sea. Perhaps most importantly, the cultural exchange facilitated by maritime trade left a lasting legacy. Ideas, technologies, and beliefs traveled as easily as goods, creating a shared heritage that transcended borders. The Phoenician alphabet, for instance, became the foundation of modern writing systems, while Greek philosophy and science spread across the Mediterranean, shaping the intellectual landscape of the ancient world. These seafaring societies didn't just trade goods, they traded knowledge, leaving an indelible mark on human history that continues to resonate today. Beneath the waves lies a hidden world of history where ancient ships and their cargoes rest undisturbed, waiting to tell their stories. Archaeologists and historians have long been captivated by the challenge of uncovering these lost treasures. piecing together the puzzle of ancient seafaring from the remnants of shipwrecks. One of the most remarkable discoveries is the Uluburun shipwreck found off the coast of Turkey. Dating back to the late Bronze Age, this vessel was a floating treasure trove carrying copper ingots, glass, gold, and even amber from the Baltic. Its cargo reveals the astonishing complexity of ancient trade networks, showing how goods traveled thousands of miles across the Mediterranean, connecting distant cultures in a web of commerce. But finding these wrecks is no easy task. Underwater archaeology is a field fraught with challenges, from the technical difficulties of working at great depths to the delicate process of preserving fragile artifacts. Divers must contend with strong currents, limited visibility, and the ever-present risk of damaging the very relics they seek to protect. Advanced technologies like sonar and remotely operated vehicles have revolutionized the search, but even with these tools, the ocean guards its secrets fiercely. Each discovery is a triumph of persistence, offering a glimpse into the lives of those who sailed these ships centuries or even millennia ago. The insights gained from these shipwrecks are extraordinary. They reveal not just the mechanics of ancient trade, but also the ingenuity of their builders and sailors. The construction of the Uluburun, for example, shows a mastery of shipbuilding techniques that allowed it to carry heavy cargo across long distances. Artifacts from other wrecks, like the Antikythera mechanism, suggest that ancient mariners were far more technologically advanced than we once thought. These findings challenge our assumptions, painting a picture of a world far more interconnected and innovative than we've often imagined. Yet, for all we've learned, much remains hidden. The ocean is vast, and countless ships likely lie undiscovered, their stories waiting to be told. What other secrets do the depths hold? Could there be wrecks that rewrite our understanding of ancient history? As we'll explore next, the mysteries that still lie beneath the waves are as tantalizing as they are numerous, offering endless possibilities for discovery and wonder. What drove ancient mariners to brave the unpredictable seas? The motivations behind their voyages were as varied as the cultures that embarked on them, each leaving a unique imprint on the course of history. Trade was among the most powerful incentives, propelling ships across vast distances in pursuit of wealth and resources. The Phoenicians, for instance, sailed the Mediterranean not just for adventure, but to acquire precious goods like silver, tin, and purple dye. These trade routes became the arteries of ancient economies, sustaining cities and forging connections between distant lands. Imagine the bustling markets of Tyre, where merchants haggled over exotic wares brought from the far corners of the known world, a testament to the enduring allure of commerce. But trade wasn't the only driving force. Exploration, the insatiable human desire to discover the unknown, also played a pivotal role. The Polynesians, with their intricate knowledge of the stars and waves, ventured into the vast Pacific not for material gain but to seek new horizons. Their voyages were acts of courage and curiosity, pushing the boundaries of what was possible and expanding the reach of human civilization. Similarly, the Vikings' journeys to Iceland, Greenland, and even North America were fueled by a thirst for discovery and a longing to settle uncharted territories. These explorers didn't just map the world, they reshaped it, leaving a legacy of innovation and resilience. Colonization was another key motivation, as ancient societies sought to establish new communities far from their homelands. The Greeks, for example, founded colonies across the Mediterranean and Black Sea, creating a network of settlements that spread their culture and influence. These colonies weren't just outposts, they were thriving centers of trade, art, and learning, reflecting the ambitions of their founders. Religious missions also played a role, as sailors carried not just goods but beliefs across the seas. The spread of Buddhism from India to Southeast Asia, for instance, was facilitated by maritime routes, with monks and merchants alike sharing their faith with distant peoples. What's fascinating is how these purposes often intertwined. A single voyage might serve multiple goals, blending trade with exploration, colonization with cultural exchange. The ancient world was a complex web of motivations, each voyage a thread in a larger tapestry. As we reflect on the reasons behind these journeys, we're reminded of the multifaceted nature of human ambition and the enduring impact of those who dared to sail beyond the horizon. The legacy of ancient seafarers is etched into the very fabric of our modern world, shaping how we navigate, trade, and connect across vast distances. Their innovations weren't just products of their time, they were the foundation upon which future explorers like Columbus and Magellan built their own achievements. Consider the astrolabe and compass, tools perfected by ancient navigators, which became indispensable for European explorers during the Age of Discovery. The Polynesians' mastery of celestial navigation inspired later mariners to chart the stars, while the Vikings' daring voyages across the North Atlantic paved the way for transatlantic exploration. These ancient seafarers didn't just map the world, they expanded its horizons, proving that even the most daunting challenges could be overcome with ingenuity and courage. Their impact on trade is equally profound. The maritime networks established by the Phoenicians, Greeks, and other seafaring cultures created a blueprint for global commerce that persists to this day. The concept of a connected world where goods and ideas flow freely across oceans owes much to these early pioneers. Modern shipping lanes, bustling ports, and even the principles of international trade can trace their roots back to these ancient routes. It's a testament to the enduring power of their vision, a world where distance is no barrier to opportunity. Culturally, the influence of ancient seafarers is unmistakable. The stories of their voyages, from the Odyssey to the sagas of the Vikings, have become timeless legends, inspiring countless generations to dream of distant shores. Their myths and legends remind us of the human spirit's boundless curiosity and resilience. Even today, their heritage lives on in the traditions, languages, and art of the communities they touched, from the Mediterranean to the Pacific. Yet, for all we've learned from their achievements, the story of ancient seafarers is far from complete. Unanswered questions still linger, tantalizing clues that hint at even greater mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Could there have been earlier transoceanic voyages that we've yet to discover? What other secrets lie hidden beneath the waves, waiting to rewrite our understanding of history? As we move forward, these questions remind us that the legacy of ancient seafarers is not just a tale of the past, it's an invitation to keep exploring, to keep asking, and to keep dreaming. In the realm of ancient seafaring, not everything is as clear-cut as we'd like it to be. Controversies and debates swirl around many of the most intriguing discoveries, keeping historians and archaeologists on their toes. Take, for instance, the Kensington runestone found in Minnesota. Some argue its runic inscription proves that Vikings ventured deep into North America centuries before Columbus, while others dismiss it as a modern hoax. This isn't just academic squabbling, it's a battle over how we understand the past. Artifacts like these force us to question long-held assumptions and consider possibilities that might rewrite the history books. Routes are another hotly contested topic. Ancient texts and maps often hint at voyages that seem impossible given the technology of the time. The Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, a 1st century Greek guide to the Indian Ocean, describes trade routes stretching as far as East Africa and India. But could these journeys have gone even further? Some researchers point to similarities between artifacts from Southeast Asia and South America as evidence of ancient trans-Pacific contact, while skeptics argue these connections are coincidental or misinterpreted. The truth is, without definitive proof, these theories remain tantalizing possibilities rather than established facts. Even the extent of ancient voyages is up for debate. Did the Polynesians reach South America, as some theories suggest? Could the ancient Egyptians have sailed to the Americas, leaving behind clues in the form of pyramid-like structures and hieroglyphic inscriptions? These questions are complicated by the fact that much of the evidence is circumstantial. A single artifact or a shared architectural style doesn't necessarily prove contact. It could just as easily be the result of parallel development or cultural diffusion. What makes these debates so fascinating is how they highlight the challenges of interpreting ancient evidence. Unlike modern history, where documents and records can provide clear answers, the distant past often leaves us with fragments, a shard of pottery here, a weathered inscription there. Piecing together these clues requires not just scientific rigor, but also a healthy dose of imagination. And that's where the mystery lies. These unresolved questions keep the story of ancient seafarers alive, inviting us to explore, question, and wonder. As long as there are gaps in our knowledge, the debate will continue, ensuring that the legacy of these intrepid explorers remains as dynamic and compelling as their voyages. Modern explorers have taken up the mantle of their ancient predecessors, embarking on daring voyages to retrace the paths of those who first ventured across the seas. One of the most famous of these modern expeditions is the Kon-Tiki, led by Norwegian adventurer Thor Heyerdahl in 1947. Heyerdahl set out to prove that ancient South Americans could have sailed to Polynesia using only the natural materials and technologies available to them at the time. With a balsa wood raft modeled after ancient designs, he and his crew successfully crossed the Pacific, demonstrating that such a journey was not only possible but plausible. This bold experiment challenged conventional assumptions and sparked a renewed interest in the capabilities of ancient mariners. Similarly, the Hokulea, a replica of a traditional Polynesian double-hulled canoe, has captured the imagination of the modern world. Built in the 1970s, the Hokulea has undertaken multiple voyages across the Pacific, guided by the same celestial navigation techniques used by Polynesian seafarers centuries ago. These journeys are more than just reenactments. They're a living testament to the skill and ingenuity of ancient navigators. The Hokulea project has also played a crucial role in reviving Polynesian cultural pride and preserving traditional knowledge that might otherwise have been lost. These modern expeditions aren't just about proving historical theories, they're about connecting with the past in a tangible way. By using ancient shipbuilding techniques and navigation methods, these explorers gain first-hand insight into the challenges faced by their predecessors. From battling storms to enduring weeks at sea, they experience the same fears and triumphs as those who came before them. Their successes and setbacks offer valuable lessons, not just about ancient seafaring, but about the enduring human spirit of exploration. What's truly remarkable is how these modern voyages bring history to life. They remind us that the achievements of ancient seafarers aren't just stories in a book. They're feats of courage and innovation that continue to inspire us today. As we reflect on these journeys, we're left with a deeper appreciation for the ingenuity of our ancestors and a renewed curiosity about the mysteries they left behind. These explorations bridge the gap between past and present, offering a unique perspective on how the ancient world shaped our own. The mysteries of ancient seafaring are far from solved. In fact, we may be on the brink of uncovering some of the most groundbreaking discoveries yet. Thanks to rapid advancements in technology, the tools available to researchers today are more powerful than ever before. Underwater drones, for instance, are revolutionizing the way we explore shipwrecks and submerged ruins. These devices can reach depths that were once inaccessible, capturing high-resolution images and mapping the ocean floor with unprecedented precision. Imagine what we might find in the uncharted waters of the Mediterranean or the Pacific, entire fleets of ancient ships, lost cities, or even evidence of transoceanic voyages that could reshape our understanding of history. Another game changer is DNA analysis, which has the potential to reveal the origins of ancient sailors and the routes they traveled. By examining the genetic material found in human remains or even in the artifacts they left behind, scientists can piece together migration patterns and cultural connections that were previously invisible. For example, DNA from skeletal remains in the Caribbean has already raised questions about early transatlantic contact, suggesting that ancient peoples might have crossed the ocean long before Columbus. These technologies aren't just tools, they're windows into the past, offering glimpses of lives and journeys we can only begin to imagine. But with these opportunities comes a responsibility to protect and preserve the fragile remnants of ancient seafaring. Shipwrecks and maritime sites are vulnerable to looting, climate change, and the destructive impact of human activity. Efforts to safeguard these treasures are more important than ever, ensuring that future generations can continue to learn from them. Projects like UNESCO Underwater Cultural Heritage Initiative are leading the charge, promoting sustainable practices and raising awareness about the value of these sites. After all, every artifact we lose is a piece of the puzzle that we may never recover. So, what secrets are still waiting to be uncovered? Could there be evidence of even earlier transoceanic voyages, or perhaps entire civilizations lost beneath the waves? The possibilities are as vast as the oceans themselves, and each discovery has the potential to rewrite the story of human history. As we look to the future, one thing is certain. The study of ancient seafarers isn't just about the past, it's about understanding our shared heritage and the limitless potential of human exploration. The next chapter of this story is waiting to be written, and it's up to us to find the clues that will bring it to life. The stories of ancient seafarers aren't just relics of the past, they're a source of profound lessons for our modern world. At the heart of their journeys lies an extraordinary resilience, a quality that feels more relevant than ever in today's fast-paced, unpredictable society. These early explorers faced storms, starvation, and the constant threat of the unknown, yet they persisted. Their determination reminds us that challenges, no matter how daunting, can be overcome with courage and resourcefulness. In a world where uncertainty is a constant, their stories offer a timeless message. Adversity isn't the end of the road, it's the beginning of a new path. Innovation was another hallmark of these ancient mariners. From the Phoenicians' advanced shipbuilding techniques to the Polynesians' mastery of celestial navigation, their ingenuity transformed the impossible into the achievable. They didn't wait for perfect conditions or advanced technology. They worked with what they had, pushing the boundaries of human capability. In an era defined by technological breakthroughs, their example challenges us to think creatively, to adapt, and to find solutions that transcend limitations. Their innovations weren't just about survival, they were about thriving in a world that demanded constant reinvention. Perhaps the most enduring lesson is the importance of exploration, not just of the physical world, but of ideas, cultures, and possibilities. Ancient seafarers didn't just cross oceans, they crossed barriers of language, belief, and tradition, creating a web of connections that shaped the course of history. Their journeys remind us that exploration is about more than discovery, it's about understanding. In today's interconnected world, their legacy inspires us to seek out new horizons, to embrace diversity, and to build bridges rather than walls. The relevance of their stories extends far beyond history books. They challenge us to look at our own lives and ask, what boundaries are we willing to push? What new horizons are we willing to seek? Their legacy isn't just a testament to the past, it's a blueprint for the future, a reminder that the spirit of exploration is alive in all of us, waiting to be ignited. As we turn our gaze forward, let's consider how their lessons continue to shape the way we navigate the world today, and the exciting possibilities that lie ahead. The voyages of ancient seafarers didn't just connect distant lands, they transformed the world in ways that still resonate today. From the Mediterranean to the Pacific, their journeys created a web of cultural exchange that shaped civilizations across the globe. Consider the spread of the Phoenician alphabet, a revolutionary innovation that traveled with traders and sailors, becoming the basis for writing systems as diverse as Greek, Latin, and even Arabic. This wasn't just a transfer of symbols, it was a sharing of ideas, a way to preserve and communicate knowledge that transcended borders and languages. Think about how different our world would be without this one simple yet profound invention. Economically, ancient seafaring laid the groundwork for the global trade networks we rely on today. The Silk Road of the Sea, stretching from the Red Sea to the coasts of India and China, wasn't just about spices and silk. It was about the flow of wealth, resources, and innovation. Ships carried not just goods but also technologies, like the Chinese invention of the compass, which eventually revolutionized navigation in Europe. These trade routes weren't static, they evolved, adapting to changing political landscapes and technological advancements. In many ways, they were the precursors to modern globalization, proving that even in ancient times, the world was far more interconnected than we often realize. But the impact of ancient seafarers wasn't limited to trade and technology. Their journeys also facilitated the exchange of traditions, beliefs, and artistic styles. Buddhist missionaries, for example, traveled from India to Southeast Asia by sea, spreading their teachings and leaving behind stunning temples and sculptures that still stand today. Similarly, Greek art and architecture, influenced by Egyptian and Mesopotamian styles, found their way into distant cultures, creating a rich tapestry of shared heritage. These cultural exchanges remind us that ancient seafarers weren't just traders or explorers, they were ambassadors of human creativity and expression. What's truly remarkable is how these connections echo in our modern world. The ancient trade routes that brought spices to Rome or silk to Europe are the ancestors of today's shipping lanes and supply chains. The cultural exchanges they facilitated laid the foundation for the diverse, interconnected societies we live in today. In many ways, the voyages of ancient seafarers were the first steps toward globalization, a process that continues to shape our lives in profound and often unexpected ways. Their legacy is a reminder that the world has always been connected, and that every journey, no matter how small, can leave an enduring mark on history. As much as we've uncovered about ancient seafarers, there are still questions that defy easy answers, mysteries that continue to captivate historians and archaeologists alike. Take the enigmatic sea peoples, for instance. Despite decades of research, their identity remains shrouded in uncertainty. Were they displaced refugees fleeing environmental disasters, or a coalition of raiders exploiting the chaos of the late Bronze Age? The theories are as numerous as they are intriguing, but the truth remains elusive, reminding us that even the most studied periods of history can hold secrets waiting to be unlocked. Another lingering mystery is the extent of ancient maritime exploration. Did the Polynesians reach South America, as some researchers suggest? Could the ancient Egyptians have sailed across the Atlantic, leaving traces of their presence in the Americas? While tantalizing clues like Polynesian sweet potatoes in South America or Egyptian-style artifacts in the New World have sparked debates, definitive proof remains just out of reach. These unanswered questions aren't just academic puzzles, they challenge our understanding of human ingenuity and the boundaries of ancient technology. Modern researchers are also grappling with the complexities of ancient trade routes. How did goods like Baltic amber end up in the Mediterranean or Chinese silk in Rome? Were these exchanges the result of direct voyages, or did they pass through countless hands along vast networks of trade? The answers could reshape our understanding of ancient economies and the interconnectedness of distant cultures. What makes these mysteries so compelling is the sense of possibility they inspire. Every unanswered question is an invitation to explore, to question, and to imagine. They remind us that history isn't a static collection of facts, it's a living, evolving narrative shaped by discovery and interpretation. As we delve into these enigmas, we're not just uncovering the past, we're rediscovering the spirit of curiosity that drove those ancient mariners to sail into the unknown. Reflecting on these unanswered questions, we're left with a profound appreciation for the depth and complexity of human history. The legacy of ancient seafarers isn't just about what we know, it's about what we've yet to discover. Their stories remind us that the pursuit of knowledge is never truly finished, and that the greatest adventures often begin where the map ends. As we move into the conclusion, let's take a moment to reflect on the incredible journey we've taken through the world of ancient seafaring, and the mysteries that still beckon us to explore further. The story of ancient seafarers is a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and the unquenchable thirst for exploration. From the Polynesians, who navigated the vast Pacific with nothing but the stars and waves as their guides, to the Phoenicians, whose trade networks laid the foundation for globalization, these early mariners pushed the boundaries of what was possible. Their voyages connected distant cultures, sparked innovations, and reshaped the world in ways that still echo today. Yet, for all we've uncovered, their stories remain filled with mysteries, unanswered questions that remind us how much there is still to discover. What can we learn from these ancient adventurers? Their resilience in the face of unimaginable challenges teaches us the power of determination. Their ability to innovate with limited resources shows us that creativity can triumph over adversity. And their spirit of exploration reminds us that the unknown isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. The legacy of these seafarers isn't just about the past, it's about the future, inspiring us to keep pushing boundaries and seeking new horizons. So, what do you think? Could there be more to the story of ancient seafarers than we've yet uncovered? Have these tales sparked your curiosity about the mysteries of the past? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your ideas and theories. If you enjoyed this journey through the world of ancient mariners, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more fascinating explorations into history's greatest mysteries. Together, let's keep uncovering the incredible stories of those who dared to sail into the unknown, because the adventure is far from over.